Good afternoon. This is Steve Maley, blogging as Vladimir at redstate.com. We're here for a conversation with Jeff Landry, who's Republican candidate for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District of Louisiana. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon, Steve. Thank you for taking the time to come by and visit.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and so forth.
Well, Steve, I was born and raised in a small town in South Louisiana, in St. Martinville, and now reside in New Iberia with my wife and a 5-year-old son, and was in the business in the mid-90s with a friend of mine. We sold that business later on. I then went to law school, got a law degree from Loyola University in New Orleans, and practiced with a large firm here in Lafayette doing business litigation.
Why did you decide to throw your hat in the ring for this race in particular?
Well, the president is such a motivator, Steve. No, after watching what the current administration in Congress did through the healthcare debates, helped to motivate me to run for a seat which was currently held by a Democrat, and who is leaving the seat to seek a higher office. And I felt that we needed a good, solid conservative, someone who believed in the Constitution, respected states, to come and represent South Louisiana.
What do you see as the main economic issues that affect your district?
Well, prior to the BP spill, I saw the health care as a main issue in impeding job growth in the area. Since the BP spill, unfortunately, our economy down here is represented by 4 pillars, that being agriculture, oil and gas, commercial recreational fishing, and tourism. The spill, unfortunately, has taken out commercial fishing, recreational fishing, and tourism, and the president's moratorium on offshore drilling or deepwater drilling has the effect of pulling out that 3rd leg. It is going to be something that is devastating to our economy down here. Whether you're in recreational commercial fishing or in tourism or even in agriculture, the chances of you not having someone related to you, whether it be an immediate family, sibling, cousin, or friend in the oil and gas industry is minimal. And so the effect of laying off upwards of 30,000 plus people because of this moratorium is devastating to this area. On top of the fact that Louisianians back in 2006 passed a constitutional amendment whereas they realized that that Louisiana and some Gulf Coast states were finally going to get a share of the offshore oil royalties that were coming into the federal treasury. We passed an amendment that dedicated 100% of those funds to coastal restoration and hurricane protection. And the president's moratorium has the opportunity to devastate that source of funding that we never got before. And so this moratorium and this bill have really had an impact on the district. You know, we need the Corps of Engineers to approve the berms that our governor has requested in order to protect our estuaries and our fragile marshes. And at the same time, we need the president and the administration to understand that the oil and gas industry realizes the accident that occurred out there and the responsibility it has, but it doesn't mean we need to impact jobs and the people tied to those jobs.
Why don't you tell the folks about your business background, the business that you were in before you were in law, and how that relates to the current
situation. I started with a friend of mine, a company in the mid '90s that did environmental regulatory compliance work. We eventually built that business into a tier one contractor who worked for spill response companies. We did hazardous waste and oil and gas spill response. And while we worked for some of the major contractors that are out there cleaning up this spill, we sold that company in the late '90s. I understand that our technology now gives us the ability to clean up that spill, and I pray every day that if we can keep that oil out of our fragile marshes, that our environment and our coast will come back. The problem is that if the moratorium is not lifted soon, and those deep water rigs move out for an extended period of time and we don't get them back, then all of a sudden we've now lost a source of funding that can protect our coast.
Tell us about your political history. Who are your Republican heroes?
Ronald Reagan is the biggest Republican hero I know. He was the reason that I registered as a Republican in 1988 in a parish that was dominated by Democrats. It was unbelievable even to people in the courthouse that you would go into the St. Martin Parish Courthouse and actually register as a Republican. When I explained to them that the president at the time was a Republican, I guess they didn't have much of an argument to give me for me wanting to be a Republican.
Well, that's great. I appreciate your time this afternoon, and best of luck in your campaign.
Well, thank you, Steve. I certainly appreciate it, and please keep the people in South Louisiana in your prayers.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.